All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Sincere brothers is doing his work in truth and in sincerity. All right, I'm coming with a quick lesson here. Just wanted to kind of share this in case, any of my viewers, have not seen what's going on recently as of last night. Pretty much basically what happened is Israel pretty much they launched a strike against Iran, killing a few of their top leadership in their military force, and I believe it was their aerial, if I'm not mistaken, the aerial force. All right, but they killed the top officials in their force, and that's really a catalyst into what you're seeing today. All right, Iran now they're firing back, bro, and it's on site. So you're not just gonna strike, this nation down and kill their top officials and think that you're gonna walk away with it scot-free. All right. Now we know there's been conflict going amongst Israel and Iran for quite some time now, but this right here, this is a catalyst, bro, and it's definitely a precursor to what's going to come even greater in the very near future. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna play a little bit of this video just so you can see exactly what's happened, and then pull some precepts. I'm not gonna make it too long, just wanted to share this. Let's go.
My cameraman while we're talking here. So there are some interceptors. Okay, there are interceptors coming in off the sea, and you're going to see some in the distant skyline. There's a missile, and it is headed down. So some of this I can already see, John and Sandra, is not being intercepted. We just saw one of the missiles. Okay, and there's an interception right over Tel Aviv. Pull out here, Yaniv, and you're going to see the trail. Just listen here. Okay, this is some short-range systems. Stay here, Yaniv. Pull out a little bit. Okay, there's just a massive amount of fire coming to Tel Aviv right now. Yaniv, get ready to pull it off the sticks. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go. Okay. Guys, come on, everyone move. Everyone move now. Stay with us, stay with us. Pick up the gear, let's go.
All right, so there you can see, this has happened again. We've seen this before, but this is a barrage of missiles, the likes of which we maybe did not see the last time. And the other unknown, Sandra, is as Iron Dome and David Sling and the Arrow system and the Terminal High Altitude Air Defense systems are all going off at the same time, it seems here. The last time this happened, there was a coordinated defense between Israel, the United States, and other countries, including Jordan, to intercept these with aircraft as well. Trey, I mean, it's unbelievable to see what we're seeing going on in the skies above Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah, John, Sandra, you saw those live images. Israel is under a massive ballistic missile barrage. I've reported here for nearly 7 years and never seen such an attack against an Israeli city. The amount of air defense that you saw going off there it's unprecedented. It appears that they are targeting some of the centrally located positions in Tel Aviv. Remember, Israel's Ministry of Defense, the Kiryat, their version of the Pentagon, is located just a couple miles from here. The fact that they had to start using those short-range missile defense systems indicates that this is a direct attack on Israel's second largest city. We don't know what's happening in other areas, and we have to wait and gather more information to get a full understanding of what was targeted. But from what we could see and what you saw in those live images, massive explosions rocking the skyline. You could hear the explosions, flashes of light in Tel Aviv. That's when we made the decision to get a little bit more cover because this is an unprecedented moment for Israel. Again, the Iranians right now are responding to the ongoing waves of strikes that are taking place.
Yeah, and that was beautiful because, as you can see, right, Israel has their Iron Dome, which is essentially their missile defense system. But even when you watch this video, you can see they weren't intercepting every missile, and there were quite a few missiles that were touching down on the city. Now, the reporter, his name was Trey Yentz. He said he's been reporting there for about 7 years, and he've never seen that amount of missile defense his whole years in the last 7 years. And in the last 7 years, tension has been very high amongst Israel and Iran in terms of strikes and war and different things like that. So this is just going to show you that, prophecies are coming, bro. We're literally at the end, of Esau's kingdom, bro. This is the end. You see what's going on. This is just a precursor to what's to happen even greater in the future. All right, these two small nations, right, Iran and Israel, are going to usher in World War III, bro. And with that coming, and remember, there's a you say, okay, World War III, we still got to have famine of the word, the mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble, right? All these different things, right? All those things, literally, when you look at those prophecies, they're a domino effect. They happen one after another, if not simultaneously, at the same time. They're all in conjunction with each other. The mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble, which is the crash in the economy, right? Essentially, and the famine of the word, right? Brothers not teaching anymore. All those things are going to happen together. And there's a saying by some dude named Vladimir or something. He says, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. And that's the time we're coming into. We've been in decades where nothing was happening. When we say nothing, we just mean nothing life-changing, to the point where people would just forget everything they thought about, right? But obviously prophecies were still coming to pass. Pieces were moving, but not on a scale to where in a matter of weeks and months, you're going to see years worth of potential things happening in the earth, or things happening in the earth that really would take decades. We're going to see a lot of things happen in a very short amount of time. Why? Because we know that Yahweh Shah said, unless those days be short, and there shall no flesh be saved. And let's go over precepts. This is Exodus 7:16. All right, going into Amalek. It says, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, right? Amalek going into what? The Amalekites, which is the so-called Jews, the FJs, right? The Rothschilds, all those leading families, right? But Amalek going to the chief house of Esau, but Amalek is also a small house amongst Esau, right? I mean, you just look at their land. They're a small house amongst the nation of Esau, all right? But the Most High is going to have war with them for generations, right? Because they are imposters, all right? They have essentially set themselves up to be the so-called children of God, right? The Israelites, the Jews, whatever you want to call them. And they've taken the land, claimed it to be their own, and they've oppressed and ostracized all of the people. All right. And now, because of that, right, the Most High is not giving them any peace. Ever since they've been in the land, they've known no peace. That goes to show you that they're imposters and are not meant to be there. This is Numbers 24:20. If you know anything about the book of Numbers was all about wars, man. It says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever, right? Because Amalek ultimately goes into Esau, Edom, which the Edomites, right? They're going to what? Their judgment essentially in the end is to be wiped off the planet of the earth. All right, they're going to be completely eradicated from this planet. There's no longer going to be an Edomite walking the earth. So in any of Esau's house, the Amalekites, everyone, they're all gone because of the judgment and the wickedness that they have put forth in the world. And as the scripture says, 2nd Ezra, Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So our time is going to come when Esau's time is over, and that time is coming very soon. That's why me and the brothers was talking about in our camp yesterday, being slothful and falling out. This ain't the time. If you falling out the truth now, you're just weak, bro. And the Lord didn't want nothing to do with you, because we're at the end, bro. We're literally at the end. This is the time where you should be on point, bro, on fire. You should be really praising the Most High and rejoicing, because our kingdom is coming, bro. And I'm gonna end off right here, Jeremiah 49:20. I didn't have too much thoughts. I kind of just wanted to share that visual, and you saw the title of in the channel of that video. I highly implore you, brothers and you sisters, to go watch that video. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he that taketh against Edom and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Exactly, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Well, who's the least of the flock? Right, again, Amalek is the smallest, is small amongst the house of Esau, right? But they're going to be the ones that draw out all the other nations, right, to war. Them and Israel, and not Israel, Iran. Israel and Iran. Iran is a small nation as well. All right, in comparison to these other nations. And but those two countries together, they're going to usher in World War III. Right? Why? Because Iran goes to war. Guess who has to go to war by default? America. Why? Because not because America wants to go to war, because they have to. They have no choice, right? Because they're in the pockets of these Zionists. Even President Trump doesn't want to go to war. All right, his organization, his cabinet, they're not pro-war. They're not pro other people's wars, but they have no choice when it comes to Israel. Why? Because they are indebted to Zionists. They're on, they're you know what I mean? They're bitches, if you will. Excuse my language. But yeah, man, beautiful things coming in the very near future. Be on the watch. Make sure you're watching Prophecy. Make sure you're on point, bro. Prayer up, spirits up, because our kingdom is coming very soon, man. That's the scripture say. Matter of fact, let me end off with that. It's second Ezra 7, I think. No, 2. Okay, 2 and 13. All right, it says, Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. I pray for short days, man. Send those prayers up to the Heavenly Father, man, earnestly. Give him no rest. And guess what? The Most High have no choice, because he's a man of his word, to give us the kingdom as he has promised. And he has promised that he would shorten the days. So Lord willing, this video was edifying. Till next time, shalom.